Don't waste your time. Time is a strange thing. Everyone knows it is valuable, yet most people treat it like it will never end. Ethan Cole was one of those people. At 24, Ethan believed he had plenty of time. Time to figure out life. Time to chase his dreams later. Time to take things seriously when it really mattered. For now, he was content drifting through his days like a leaf floating on water, letting the current decide where he went. He lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city, a place cluttered with empty coffee cups, tangled charging cables, and half-finished notebooks filled with ideas he never completed. He worked part-time at a convenience store, mostly night shifts, because it allowed him to sleep late and avoid responsibility. His parents called often, gently reminding him that he had once dreamed of becoming a writer. Ethan always laughed it off. "Relax," he'd say. "I've got time." The comfort of delay. Every morning, Ethan woke up to the sound of his phone alarm. And every morning, he hit snooze. Sometimes once, sometimes 10 times. He scrolled through social media, watching other people live their lives, while convincing himself he would start his own soon. He had talent. That wasn't the problem. When he actually sat down to write, the words flowed easily. Professors in college had praised his work. Friends had told him his stories made them feel something real. But after graduation, Ethan stopped trying. Trying meant failing, and failing meant admitting that time could be wasted. Instead, he filled his days with distractions. Video games that lasted until sunrise, endless online debates, short-term pleasures that felt good in the moment but left him empty afterward. He told himself he was resting or gathering inspiration. Deep down, though, he knew the truth. He was afraid. The old man at the bus stop. One rainy evening, after a long shift at the store, Ethan walked toward the bus stop. The streetlights flickered, reflecting off the wet pavement like broken stars. The bus was late, as usual. At the bench sat an old man with a long gray coat and a cane resting between his knees. His face was deeply lined, but his eyes were sharp. Too sharp, Ethan thought, for someone his age. "Rough night?" the old man asked. Ethan shrugged. "Same as always." The old man smiled faintly. "Those are the most dangerous nights." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Dangerous how?" "Because they pass without being noticed." Ethan laughed politely, assuming the man was just another stranger looking for conversation. But something about his voice felt heavy, like every word carried weight. "You're young," the old man continued. "Tell me, what are you waiting for?" Ethan hesitated. "Waiting for what?" "For your life to begin." That hit harder than Ethan expected. "I'm already living," he said defensively. The old man nodded slowly. "Breathing is not the same as living." The bus arrived, doors hissing open. Ethan stood, unsure why he felt reluctant to leave. "Don't waste your time," the old man said softly as Ethan stepped onto the bus. "It's the one thing you can never earn back." The doors closed. The bus pulled away. And just like that, the old man was gone. A restless night. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The words echoed in his mind. Breathing is not the same as living. He turned over in bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to imagine the future. Not the vague, comfortable future where everything magically worked out, but a real one. What if nothing changed? What if 10 years passed and he was still here, still saying, soon, still waiting. The thought made his chest tighten. At 3:17 a.m., he sat up, turned on his desk lamp, and opened one of his old notebooks. Dust coated the pages. He flipped through half-written stories, abandoned characters, unfinished dreams. "I'll start tomorrow," he whispered. Then he stopped. Tomorrow had always been the problem. He picked up a pen and began to write. The first step. The next few weeks were uncomfortable. Ethan set an alarm and forced himself to wake up early. He limited his screen time. He wrote every day, even when the words felt clumsy and wrong. Some days he hated what he produced. Other days he surprised himself. It wasn't magical. It wasn't easy, but it was real. He applied for writing workshops, submitted short stories to small magazines, and faced rejection after rejection. Each rejection stung, but it also proved something important. He was trying. Time, once something he wasted without noticing, became something he guarded carefully. He started saying no to distractions that led nowhere. He learned that discipline was not about punishment. It was about respect for his own future. Still, doubt lingered. Late one evening, after receiving yet another rejection email, Ethan felt the old temptation creeping back. The temptation to quit, to escape, to tell himself none of it mattered. He almost gave in. That night, Ethan dreamed. He was standing in a long hallway lined with doors. Each door had a number on it: 25, 30, 40, 60. At the end of the hallway stood the old man from the bus stop. "Choose," the old man said. "Choose what?" Ethan asked. "A moment," the man replied. "A life." Ethan opened the door marked 40. Inside, he saw himself, older, heavier, tired. The apartment looked the same, only messier. A TV played in the background. No notebooks, no writing, just noise. Ethan's chest tightened. He opened another door, 60. This version of himself sat alone at a small table, staring out a window. Regret filled the room like smoke. "I thought I had time," the older Ethan whispered. Ethan stumbled back into the hallway, shaking. "Why are you showing me this?" he asked. The old man leaned on his cane. "Because one day, these doors will close." Ethan woke up, gasping for air. The sun was rising. No more waiting. From that day on, Ethan stopped waiting. He didn't become famous overnight. He didn't suddenly succeed in every way. But he showed up, every single day. He found a better job that challenged him. He saved money. He surrounded himself with people who valued growth instead of comfort. He learned that failure was not proof of weakness, but proof of effort. Years passed. Slowly, almost quietly, things began to change. One of his short stories was accepted by a literary journal. Then another. He held the printed copy in his hands, heart pounding, remembering the boy who once believed he had all the time in the world. He didn't. None of them did. The letter. On his 30th birthday, Ethan received an envelope in the mail. There was no return address. Inside was a single piece of paper. "You listened. Most don't. Time noticed." Ethan smiled, though his eyes filled with tears. He never saw the old man again, but he didn't need to. The truth about time. Time does not shout. It does not warn. It slips away quietly, disguised as comfort, distraction, and delay. Ethan learned what many learned too late: that talent without action means nothing, that dreams ignored become regrets, that later is the most dangerous word of all. So if you are waiting, waiting to start, waiting to try, waiting to become, stop. Start messy. Start scared. Start now. Because time is already moving, and it will not wait for you.